Do more roads cause more wildfire? This is a question that we are seeing discussed in almost all the discussions related to the rescission of the roadless rule. And if you're following this debate, you've probably seen a lot of videos like this one.
Let me explain. Humans are directly responsible for a huge portion of forest fire ignitions in the first place. And the more access, industrial activity, and people there are, the more chances for ignition to occur. Studies have shown that areas with more roads are actually much more likely to burn, and new research from the Wilderness Society found that fires were 4 times as likely to start in areas with roads than in roadless forests.
So let's talk about this study. It was sponsored by the Wilderness Society, which is one of the most aggressive groups in trying to remove roads off our public lands in the last 90 years. It was conducted by this scientist who is on their staff and paid by them, which means it is biased. It started from the position of how can we prove that roads are bad? I guarantee it. And the study is unpublished. It hasn't been peer reviewed yet. We, the public, can't review how the methodology was actually applied in this study and how they actually did what they did to come to the conclusions that more fire ignitions are started by roads and are therefore causing more wildfire. So rather than look at the biased study from the Wilderness Society, we looked at a separate study that was conducted by the Congressional Budget Office. What they found is that since the roadless rule was enacted right about here till the time the study was released in 2021, is that the number of fires have gone down. However, if you look at when the roadless rule was enacted here to the end of the study in 2021, the acreage burned by these fires has more than doubled. So while it is true that 86% of fires are started by humans, 14% are started by natural causes like lightning, the 14% of fires that are started by lightning burn 59% of the acres when they start in these remote, inaccessible areas. And so by focusing on ignitions instead of acres burned, this study is clouding the discussion around the roadless rule and causing a lot of people to believe that the reason these wildfires are starting is because of the roads. The reality is that more access leads to more management. When wildfires are started in the proximity of a road, those fires are quickly detected and quickly extinguished. When a fire starts burning in a remote, inaccessible, roadless backcountry, it turns into a conflagration that burns thousands, if not tens or hundreds of thousands of acres. And those wildfires are destroying our forests, they're destroying wildlife habitat, and they're destroying our watersheds. And so rescinding the roadless rule removes the restrictions that are preventing our National Forest Service from managing our forests. That's why we support removing the roadless rule. We need to get our comments in by September 19th. If you haven't done it yet, you can follow the link in our bio and get your comment in before the deadline.